Okay. Hello. Thank you for watching. I'm not working on one of the series that I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of 2 or 3 series of, yeah, we can count all 3. 3 different series of related videos, but I'm really fired up about something because I got a headache on my break time at work yesterday because of this subject. And the subject is Biologos. Doesn't make sense to me. They seem to contradict themselves. I don't get headaches just because I disagree with somebody, but if somebody contradicts themselves and they're not consistent in they don't seem to have a consistent principle guiding them. One thing I would like to do sometime is go visit the Ark Encounter in Kentucky. And also in Kentucky is the Answers in Genesis Creation Museum. I would like to visit that. Not because I would get any good theology out of that. You can look at my past videos to find out what I think about Ken Ham's theology. But they engage in some real science there, it looks like. And I've got a relative that lives very close to those things. And when I was planning it, I was thinking, hey, maybe me and this relative could see each other again. And I also thought, maybe that relative wouldn't want to go to those things. I don't know, because I haven't talked extensively with this relative, but when we have talked a little bit about the subject, this relative definitely sympathizes with old Earth creationists. If not that he is a believer in old Earth creationism. And he, so I don't know if somebody who is a sympathizer or maybe a believer in that would want to go see something put together by Ken Ham, who is a young Earth creationist. I'm in the young Earth camp. Maybe I'll make a whole video about that. Reasons why I am a young Earth creationist, not an old Earth creationist or an atheist. But I thought to myself, I haven't looked at what Biologos, who this relative introduced me to, thinks about the Ark Encounter. Have they written about it? They've got a website, biologos.org. If you do .com, it's some kind of a medical testing company or website or something like that. .org. And their inconsistency doesn't make sense. And now I'm starting to feel a headache again because I'm thinking about it. But this Biologos group does not want to believe some of the miracles in the Bible, and they call themselves Christians. That doesn't make sense to me. But they don't believe the flood really happened, or that it was a local flood. One of those two. Biologos is a big, or I don't know how big. It's not just one person. So there's several different essays by several different people that I read to. Last night when I was building up this headache. But these things were consistent. I didn't see like another essay where somebody contradicted these ideas. The flood, according to them, was a local flood or a parable that didn't really happen. And they said the flood story teaches us how bad sin is because it gets punished. Well, no, it doesn't get punished if it didn't really happen. Doesn't get punished. Sin doesn't get punished if the flood didn't really happen. They don't like the Ark Encounter and believing that the Ark really happened because they wrote that, one of the writers wrote that the amount of evolution that would have to happen after the Ark to get all the animals we have now is faster than any recorded rate of evolution. Well, no, it isn't, because has evolution been actually scientifically recorded, or have storytellers told stories about how many billions of years it takes? That's not recording it. That's a storyteller telling a story. Okay? So, just in case somebody was wondering, the Death Star never really existed or got blown up. It was a story. And, so yeah, they don't think yeah. And they critiqued that Noah was 500 years old when he built the Ark, and that couldn't happen. Well, if the conditions on the Earth were different, then maybe people did live 500 actual years, and they weren't just counting in a different way, like 1 month equaling a year or something like that. So, that wouldn't cause me too much of a headache if that's all that, what was happening at Biologos. They're consistent. They don't want to believe miracles. Okay. But they complained about the Ark Encounter, explaining how they could have taken care of all of that animal poop. The animals were going to eat and poop. Of course they were. But Biologos wants the Ark Encounter to make up a miracle that's not in the Bible. And say that the animals didn't poop for a year. That God magically, miraculously made the animals not poop for a year. That's not in the Bible. I don't see any biblical reason to say that the animals didn't poop for a year. And especially to criticize somebody else's Ark exhibit for not saying that. If you want to believe that, fine. It doesn't specifically say the animals poop. But it didn't say they don't. And the animals were there. Animals eat and poop. That's what they do. So, how could they want to create a miracle that's not in the Bible when they're denouncing the ones that are there? And instead of accepting the fact that there's some variety built into the genetic code of the animals, in a few generations of dogs, you can change dogs to, be bigger or smaller, different fur. You can do that to the dogs. A few generations, you can start to get a dog that's not very recognizable as compared to the parent. So you could get all the animals that are on the earth now from some genetic mutations, from the variety that's built into the DNA of animals. I've seen it. My old dog came from a litter of 7, and there were 7 different colors and color patterns among these puppies. And 4 of them survived birth, and we kept 2 of them a little bit longer. Only kept 1 of them extremely long, but they had different fur textures from the same mother, the same litter, not even the same, to show the potential variety that's in the DNA of animals. These were from the same litter, so the same mother and father, and they get that much of a variety, because there's some variety built into the DNA of the animals, so you could get the variety we have from what would fit onto the Ark. But they wanted another miracle that's not in the Bible. They wanted the Ark Encounter exhibit to tell people that God miraculously made the inside of the Ark bigger than the outside, like a Harry Potter tent. Harry Potter, the tent is a normal size tent, 10 or 12 feet, but when you go in, it's the size of a mansion. They wanted that miracle that's not in the Bible to be given at the Ark Encounter exhibit, but they wanted to denounce the miracles that really are in the Bible. Well, I don't even look at some of them as miracles, but the things that are actually in the Bible. Biologos, please be consistent. If you're going to denounce some miracles in the Bible story, then don't make up new miracles. that aren't in there. And one of the articles I read said something that did not make any sense to me. If somebody could make sense out of this in the comments section, feel free. They said that a worldwide flood would be undoing day 2 and 3 of the creation. No, a worldwide flood doesn't undo anything. It's God flooding the whole world, which is a very possible thing when you consider how much water there is in the world. And the biggest mountains that we have now very likely were recent. Why is the phone ringing again this morning? I'm sorry. Okay. Didn't even answer it. I didn't recognize the number. Okay, but I don't see how any days of creation are undone by a flood covering the earth. So, thank you for listening to me rant about Biologos, and you have a good day.